Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Come on. Here we go. Come on. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Get it.
Okay.
How we doing, Joseph?
Man, you're definitely echoing. I fixed that. Chat. Woo! It's a day. There's a lot of stuff. It's been a big day. It's been a big day, chat. Big day having fun out here in the Sandbox game. It's a lot. It's just a lot. I'm just excited. I'm just having a good time out here. Just chilling. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Today, April 19, 2022, 7:06 p.m. my local time. It may be April 20th. I hear that's a national holiday in the Snoopverse. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and evening, everybody. Just about 4 hours ago. No, wrong. 3 hours ago. Being released for just 1 hour. 170 of these bad mama jammas you see dancing on the screen right now went available for sale on the marketplace at Sandbox.game. And they flew off the digital shelf. It was wild fast. Chat, this was the purple that we gave away 10 of on this live stream Sunday, my day. Sunday night, my time, your Monday morning, maybe. We gave away 10 of these on the show. 170 of them sold out like that on the marketplace at Sandbox.game. You know, chat, you're right. You're right. It's 20. See, as an American, I make the mistake of saying that it is 4/20/22, whereas it's 20/4/22 where you are. Maybe I should start doing that. You think I should start doing that in the intro? Because, you know, everybody else, everywhere else, it's the 20th April, 2022. Some places, 22, 24. That makes a lot of sense to me. But, anyway, chat, these things flew off the shelves. How many of you picked up a Wizzy the Purple? And I'm looking in the chat, and Illist1212 says, I got 8. You're going to appreciate that later, I'll tell you that. You got 8. Beautiful. Beautiful. And DeadMac_ over on twitch.tv is getting ahead of the news, chat. We got more to talk about because it's a huge day today in the news, in the Sandbox game. It's a great time to be alive, you know what I mean? So the Wizzy the Purples, they went out, they sold out super fast. 3 other significant announcements came out today. Let's talk about those. The first, the Sandbox partners with Slipknot and Knotfest to create the Knotverse. That's right. You heard it. There was a teaser that went out a couple days ago, maybe last week this time. Little teaser, little hype video. Did a little thing there. All right. Proud to announce that the Slipknot is partnering, the Sandbox, the Slipknot, you know what I mean? The Sandbox is partnering with Knotfest and Slipknot, the most enigmatic, provocative, and aggressive music collective of the modern era, to create the Knotverse, a Web3 home for Slipknot and Knotfest Metaverse experiences, concerts, and lifestyle in the Sandbox. Collaboration brings together innovators in their respective fields to create a one-of-a-kind meeting place for heavy music culture in the Metaverse. Knotverse will host Web3 experiences curated by Knotfest and Slipknot specifically for the culture. The Knotverse roadmap will see unique NFTs and generative collections, plus Metaverse concerts, gaming experiences, fan experiences, unique collaborations, wearables, and much more. It will ultimately offer fans of the heavy culture utility through unique access to new music, in real life events, festival experiences, merchandise, gear, masks, and more. Chat. You want to read more on that? You can go to sandbox.game.medium.com. Full article out there. More news, of course, related to that will release in the future. But that's a pretty significant band in what is a growing music scene in the Sandbox game. You know, we've had the Warner Musics, right? We've had, of course, Snoop. We've got Steve Aoki out there. We've got the Dead Mouse, right? We've got DJ Blondish. We got all sorts of people. I mean, I could go on, but that's not everything that happened today. Also available right now. Now, I would recommend that you double check to make sure. It looks like 522 were minted as I pulled this up, but go make sure you know the quantity so that you know you're not going to miss it if it sells out. But the Apes of Space VX assets are now available for minting as well at apesofspace.com/mint. The Sandbox Premium Partners 6x6 Estate Apes of Space VX is an NFT ticket that provides access for players to explore unique in-game experiences, earn sand tokens, and other exclusive rewards. Total supply, 7,777 NFTs. 1,777 NFTs from the total supply will be available for free claim for Genesis, Apes of Space, and Lady Apes holders for 1 month. So if you have either of those two things, go get your claim. Otherwise, you can mint the remaining for just 0.1 ETH plus gas fee. Maximum 20 of these Apes of Space VX available for an individual. So that's super hot. Super hot. I know that people loved the CyberKongz VX. Now this Apes of Space is there. You've got a lot going on there. Let's talk about the next bit. The Sandbox partners with Apex Athletes. The collaboration will bring Sean White, Nathan Chen, Chloe Kim, Lindsey Vaughn, Ayumu Hirano to the Sandbox Metaverse. Enway, the creator of Apex Athletes and fellow subsidiary of Animoca Brands, is partnering with the Sandbox to inject utility into selected Apex athletes. Excuse me, 1 sec. The Enway Cross Sandbox collaboration is the first of a series of utilities announced to be added to Apex Athletes, as Enway will continue to develop new projects as well as collaborate with projects within the Animoca Brands family. Apex Athletes will be available for initial sale on apexathletes.io, will be available for trading on major exchanges such as OpenSea. The mint price for those Apex Athletes is 0.07 ETH and will be available for sale to the public next Tuesday, April 26th. An early private sale will be held this Thursday, April 21st, with the private sale price of 0.05 ETH. Owners of selected Apex Athletes will be able to unlock exclusive avatar skins in the Sandbox. We are in further discussion with Enway Play to explore bringing an Apex Athletes Winter Park to our metaverse, where players can shred on the snowboard halfpipe or show off their quadruple axel jump in the ice skating rink. More details announced at a later date. So a bunch of different stuff. First, I'm going to address this question that comes from Mansour over on youtube.com. Can you please explain what exactly are the benefits of minting one of the Apes of Space VX NFTs? Got one, but I'm not sure exactly what to do with it. Well, to be clear, Mansour, I am talking about this from the perspective of the Sandbox game. And in all honesty, all the minutia of each individual partner project is managed by those partners themselves. So when I see hot topics, big deals, I'm going to bring them up. I'm going to let you know about them. But otherwise, if you want to look at the full details, you'll want to defer to their support over on their Discord channels or their Twitch or Twitter or platforms such as that. So, look forward to that in the future. All right. So, Conrad, Radcon Dad, you're in the chat. You're hanging out with us. How you doing today? All right. You may have had to step away for a moment. All right. So let's get it going. So I'm going to try to open up the Sandbox Game Maker software. And yesterday you saw me attempt to get good at a video game here. There's a competition going on right now. The game is on page number 10. We're going to load it up. And In this competition, the top 3 players are winning 1,000 sand tokens through a partner game creator just like you. I'm going to try this one more time for a little while, unless a user has a suggestion that they would prefer that I play their game. All right, so just real quick, I don't want to skip over it too much, but let's see if I can. I want to give you the title on that. I think it's Glitchy Speedrun. There we go. For whatever reason, I had Glitch in the Metaverse just kept taking over my mind from that old game jam. So it was like I had a brain freeze or whatever. Glitchy Speedrun. Run your way to the tops. This was created by Meads. We played it yesterday once again on the show, but this is the moment. Ice Pilot X7 is under the misconception that I've been practicing all day and night for this moment, but I can assure you that I have not. Because what arrived in the... What arrived? Did I mute Conrad?
Did we
Conrad,
figure it out?
are you only on Discord?
I guess no. I'm on the VMix as well.
Oh, your audio's not coming through on vMix, so I just unmuted you on Discord. Okay. That's funny. I was like, yeah, he's gone. He's just gone. But in reality, right at the beginning of the show, I went like, oh, I got to push this button over here to mute him. And chat's just blowing up like, Conrad, yo, jeez, oh, man.
Oh, yeah. I've been trying to talk the whole time.
There you go. There we go. There was an echo there. Now you're good, right?
Am I?
There you go.
You tell me.
He's good to go, chat. Thank you. You guys are so nice. Super helpful. Appreciate it. Okay,
I was
Shriram,
flaming you.
The winners for the race for M-Cent. Did you say you were flaming me? What a hater.
Yeah.
The distribution for that race has already happened. Yes. So I don't I didn't see a tweet for it. I probably could ask Mike if he could tweet that out. But yes, that was taken care of. WebDev says, I think this game targets the truly hardcore parkours. It may be the case.
Most definitely.
Getting a top 3 in any parkour-based challenge is probably going to end up doing that, yes. But we're going to give it our best try. Ugg the Fist says, I got 110 without attack jumping. I really wish I knew what attack jumping was, how to get good at it, you know what I mean? Because I'm not
Those are pro strats.
Ice Pilot X7 says, Joe is playing with his new Stream Deck by Valve. Hasn't gotten good with it yet. That's true. That is true. I was doing that. I was updating that all day. I apparently I got it in the mail yesterday.
Oh, you
My wife
finally
put
got
it on
one?
the table, and okay. My wife put it on the table, along with this apparently Huckleberry. What is this? Huckleberry soda. That doesn't sound very good, but I'm going to drink it so that it doesn't go to waste. Anyway,
it sounds delicious. I don't know.
She put it down, the Stream Deck on the table, and I didn't even know it was there. You know what I mean? So like noon today, I was like, oh, it's here. Oh my gosh. And I found out immediately that I needed a memory card for it because I got the 64 gig version. Nonetheless, it doesn't play the Sandbox game. So, you know, it went to the wayside. Just downloaded Rocket League and Overcooked 2 for it. Okay.
I'm your Huckleberry, says Soul Cancer.
Wow. That's it's all right.
It's one of my favorite movies. I gotta say, I appreciate the reference. My dog is named General Dr. Val Kilmer Holiday Knoll, so here's an idea
That's
for
funny.
you.
You guys are great. I didn't even try it. I didn't even try it.
So our attack jumping is lunge attack for a split second and then break into a jump. Says JKOH006. How's the Huckleberry?
So it tastes like. Have you ever picked fresh berries, blackberries, maybe?
Oh yeah.
You know, something like that. It doesn't really taste like huckleberry. It tastes like if you pick fresh blackberries and you like got out like a potato masher and just mushed them all up, yeah? And then you dump like 2 cups of sugar in there to make a jam or something. It definitely doesn't taste like a soda, chat. It's
Huh.
okay. It's okay. I would
But it's
probably
okay? All right.
I'm gonna water it down. I'm gonna put it in a glass with some ice and water it down. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
We'll figure it out.
I love it.
Don't let it go to
Sponsored
waste.
by Huckleberry Finn. No.
Right? Okay, so you were telling me
Okay.
that I see that you've improved quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
since
I
I've
mean, I
seen
can
it.
actually jump on a platform, right?
Right. And you were telling me you took this run from 10 minutes down to a minute 10?
Not a minute 10. I think I was at a minute 15, maybe a minute 17 on my runs previously.
Oh my goodness.
You get close, you know what I mean? You get close. Okay, chat. Wait, somebody explained how we can do how do we do the thing? How do we do the thing where we where we lunge? Yeah.
So
Because we want to lunge.
what I was seeing there is you got to attack jump. You do a lunge attack for a split second, breaking into a jump. Supposedly that gets you to go a little bit further.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Wait a minute. I like kind of almost see it. Okay.
Meads is gonna have to tell us if we can do any macros, because
Wait, macros? Oh no, you know
Yeah.
what? Hackers, dude. This is
right,
all about
right. That's
MLG,
what I'm
dude.
saying. But is it allowed? We'll never know.
I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure
Probably
it's
not.
I'm pretty sure it's. See, so that's interesting because this is way harder, right? Like you guys, I mean, you guys, if I want to hold shift, I want to hold W, I'm just going to run and I'm going to jump. Like you could do this.
Right.
It's just all about moving the mouse. But you start implementing that attack and like attack and jump at the same. Okay. Let's see if I can attack. Okay. I'm trying to left click while I'm moving. It doesn't do it. You gotta actually let go of everything to be able to do that like lunge jump.
I mean, you definitely have to let go of some feelings here in order to do this at all. So
Okay, we're gonna
I
get
feel
it.
your
We're gonna get.
frustration already.
I feel like I'm learning the like split second lunge, but I'm not keeping the momentum, so I got to get the timing down. All right.
Well,
All
Joe,
right. Yes.
Jazz Wolf is requesting that we explain to some of our wonderful folks about the Wizzy 10K project that's coming up in the Wizzyverse itself, as people getting into that wonderful purple Wizzy.
Okay.
Can kind of know what they're getting into.
So I want to make it clear that at this time, there is not a fully 100%. I'm going to jump back into this game since you always have to restart it anyway. I'm going to jump back into this. It's not a fully fleshed out idea right now. But in terms of long-term scalability, today was a day where. So it's not my IP, right? At least I like to be very clear with Alex that he created this thing. He created this verse. He is the creative behind the. Wow, this definitely not Toyota Supra is amazing. Anyway, he created this Wizzyverse in his head, right? And he had these ideas about the way particular things are, and the Wizzy asset itself was originally created on a stream like this one. You were watching him, and you, the fans, were just creating it with him, right? Oh man, the aftertaste of that soda is awful.
Might have to replace it.
No, I already have.
Did.
I have
All right.
coconut pineapple water. Anyway,
it got worse.
No, that's way better, dude. Way better. It tastes like the smell of coconut and pineapples a block away.
Ridiculous.
It's delicious. No, so in this plan, there is, and I'm going to go to the map to show you, because my account has just one of the squares as I am developing the primary social hub for this intentional design here. But so this space that you see around the GameFi Adventures space, around like up and in the northwest near the Alpha hub and all the Alpha experiences, they were all played inside this box. And just up here, these individual tiles. This is going to kill some of you in the chat who are just for the first time like learning about the Sandbox game now, or you just got into this and you've tried to participate in a land sale. in the very first land sale, the sale took so long that, because it was kind of just an idea. There really wasn't much flesh behind it. There was a couple of sample videos of what the software could maybe possibly do in the future, but it didn't exist yet, and we were still building. So Alex Florez comes through here, and he clicks one by one on these parcels at $27 a piece, plus gas fee. When gas, an ETH was like, what, $200 maybe? And he buys every one of these tiles in this block, making a 3x3 estate. And he has other space in the metaverse, but this space specifically in, what is effectively the origin area of the sandbox, is dedicated to Wizzyverse related IP things. So anybody who owns the Wizzy assets, the ones that we give away here for free, whether it's a hat, whether it's the Wizzies, whether it's the whatever, would have access to whitelist minting for the Wizzy 10K project, where the 10K project is avatars you can use anywhere in the sandbox game, and it gives you access to otherwise restricted closed areas. So where it comes to just this particular area, the games, the experiences that are built for these areas are for those people who own that 10K project. And then the land right here, the only red one in this wallet, is the one that I'm designing just for the social hub that involves what Alex would describe as a council of Wizzy's characters, which is each of the unique, visual, aesthetic, personality-based pieces will be represented in this particular social hub for all of the colors of the rainbow that are the eventuality of the Wizzy, the Council of Wizzies is what Alex likes to call those. So the assets themselves that you have for the Wizzy the Purple can be used as an override in an experience if you want to make it the main character, or it can be used as a character in your experience in any way that you like. It could be a valet if you like in your museum, whatever you want, or just an art piece or a collectible or whatnot. But it also serves as a key down the road. So there's so much more to that, but we're at a point now in terms of development where, aside from the development that we can do right now, based on this particular sale, things went fast enough that Alex, specifically, because it's his IP, will need to explore creating a new LLC for the brand itself so that we can build value into the brand over time and be able to account for the incoming revenue and then turn that incoming revenue back over into more tangible, usable, functional things for those people who did buy Wizzy assets. Because, Alex and I have made it like super, the utility, exactly. Because the utility can be all sorts of different things. I mean, if you look at Crypto Kaiju, for example, it's something we haven't talked about on this show for a while, but Crypto Kaiju made some really wonderful looking statues that were part of, if you bought the statue, you got the piece in the sandbox game, so it's possible to do the reverse of that down the road. But once again, it's really all about building that utility, but the footprint to building that utility comes from turning it from an asset IP into a company IP so that you can then give utility back to the consumers, as a company instead of as Alex. Because quite frankly, if you give away a thing all the time that is worth hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars or whatever, at a certain point your accountant goes, what? So it's much easier to do as a company.
Tax day's coming up, and what's happening?
Yeah, exactly. Right? Exactly. It's pretty funny too, because in the NFT space, it's pretty unique, right? I've heard people talking about their accountant literally going wait, so they gave you this for free and overnight it was worth $3,000 and then the next month it was worth $10,000. Why? you know, and like it just burns the gears. Go, you know, they're just grinding in the accountant's head like that doesn't make any sense, you know. But that is the craziness that is the crypto community, right? Like it's totally. So that's the stuff that needs to be hammered out before we come through and say like, oh well, this is happening and that's happening and whatever. And critically, to the point of talking about the Wizzyverse, we're always gonna celebrate the space, celebrate the people. You know, I didn't, none of the sales ever associated with me, Joe, or the Sandbox game. It was all Alex, right? But still, when you guys are sharing it on socials, it's like, I'm happy. We're a community. We're having a good time, and we're enjoying these things. So we take all of those things, and once again, just make sure that you have the framework to build the utility, and then when the utility is done, essentially, like for me personally, if it's not gonna be out the door in 2 weeks, I don't want to say it's coming. You know what I mean? Only announce things that are done. That's where I'm at. So, and Alex is very much on board with that same thing. So you don't overhype something and then go like, well, it's got to be delayed 3 months, because nobody likes that. So
nobody likes things being pushed back a million times.
Yeah.
But we got some relevant questions here.
Okay.
From AYZ116 says, do they have to be diamond holders for the Wizzies or any Wizzy owner?
Yeah, no. So all of those NFT assets that are out there, whether it's the hats that we're giving away free on this show, the Wizzies that we've given away free on this show, the ones that you purchased today, all of those things get you that whitelist down the road. That was always the plan, because that's always just a thank you, right? Like there's no need to have that nonsense where you're clamoring to try to maybe possibly get in and you're spending a ridiculous amount of gas fee, you know. So trying to avoid that, you say thank you for being here, because most of the people who got them just love the brand. They love the Sandbox game. They love being here and being a part of this community. So it's not, when it's not about dollars and cents, those are the people that you want to say thank you to, you know, because that's what makes a brand sustainable over time and, you know, a good experience for everybody.
And then over on YouTube, our friend Renduxy asks, is there a place where we can see all the features that are coming in Game Maker version 0.7 when it releases?
I don't think so. Not unless somebody leaked it.
We don't quite have an area for patch notes quite yet.
Right. Well,
we're still very early.
That's the thing. Like, you can see retroactive patch notes on some things, but you can't see future notes on things. And that goes back to that point that I said just a couple of minutes ago. You don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. It could be that we come down to our target date for when we want to release this 0.7 update, and something doesn't get done. And you just go, you know what? I need to release this product because people want feature updates. So you go, let's cut that and put it to the side. So if we came out and said this will definitely happen, then I think people would have a bad time, and we're going to avoid that.
And along with that, our friend, Shiram, at least that's how I'm going to pronounce that today. I think I pronounce it differently every single time. Any news on Polygon asset transfer?
Not yet. Not yet. Once again, the infrastructure, the smart contract has to be approved, but that's going to come out on Twitter first before I can talk about it. That particular unless for some reason they send me out an email that says that I can be the first one to discuss it. That happens sometimes, not all the time. So yeah, if that is the case, if I can talk about it, if I can say for sure it's coming out tomorrow, but we're waiting on a web developer to just put it into the website, then I will be able to talk about that. But otherwise, you know. No, I fell over the top. Do 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 do. You lose. Did I do that right? Does they do different music for that? I forget.
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing.
Okay, good.
There are no purple hats quite yet, unfortunately, friends.
That's true. The purple hat, if I was to guess, the purple hat would be the next one that we give away completely free on this show once these are gone, because the green is a little over halfway gone now, which means that mathematically, I'm mathematical. Brains, it's 7 weeks, roughly, before these are gone. The green hats.
Okay.
So once those are gone, then we'll see some purple hats.
Are we giving away any green hats today?
Absolutely.
Oh.
What day is it? What year is it? 7:36. I try to look down at my clock, chat. How good am I going to be at parkour when I'm looking down at my clock? Can I do that? Can I even do that? I can't really. Fun thing about Joe that the chat doesn't know is that my left eye is like so bad that I basically can't see out of it. And that's not an exaggeration. So like here and over in my vision is perfect. It's 20/20, right? Well, when you see me like with my glasses on and you're like, man, this guy looks like that guy. Who's that bug-eyed guy in all the memes? Conrad, you know this guy. You know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea.
Something's Effie. The guy says that in the TV show, the movie, whatever.
I'm blanking on it. You know my energy is almost
Bubbles.
non-existent.
There we go. Revox knows.
Oh,
Revox knows.
That's right.
See, that my glasses make me look like Bubbles because this eye's just that bad. So I bet you that I could look at my clock and do the jump puzzle if I don't have the glasses on and I don't have the frame in the way. Let's see what we can do. If I can remember it on a feeling. I'm gonna get started on a feeling.
I believe in you. But I'm gonna go for more questions here.
All right, I got one.
It seems like our friend Ice Pilot's having issues downloading and installing the Game Maker on an M1 Mac.
Ooh.
Is there any known issues on that?
The M1 Mac is the version that we tested it on. What I recommend you do if you're having issues is find the temporary files in your Mac. If you find your temp files, then you'll be able to clear out the temp files. I had, I think it was Paniolonate in the chat was talking about the same thing for the Game Maker, where they were having issues loading some things. They just uninstalled it, wiped the temp files, reinstalled it, and everything went fine. And they were like mid-development on a game, so and it didn't clear out their game development either.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
And then Ian Rooney asks, will the Sandbox ever be open world like Decentraland at some point? Or will it always be closed experiences? And will it matter who your neighbors are?
It will be closed experiences or instanced levels because a couple things. So I'm standing here, I look like a glitchy robot right now, right? This is the design. This is intentional. Every asset in this space is what it is, right? If I was here and I loaded every experience that would be right next to it, you see on the mini map on the top right where it shows that dotted line? Suddenly, very suddenly, there would be a hard line of something that pops in on the side. Just a wall of dirt or whatever that takes you out of the feeling of this like glitchy space, right? And then in that hard line of dirt, you've got additional polys that you're loading for no reason. So that's more lag on your hardware, whether you're using a desktop or you're using, in the future, a mobile, right? So you want to have as much optimization as possible. Now, even more so to that point, some people, in fact, I would say many, relatively speaking, many to me is 1% of players. That's too much. We're reporting that they couldn't load one of the experiences in particular in the alpha because it had too much going on in that space. So you as a developer, would you want to have your game like this? It's relatively not taxing on the hardware. Would you want to have this sitting next to an experience that makes your users lag so that you're doing a speed run. You want precision. You want simplicity in design so that you can have complexity in performance, right? You want your users to be the difference maker, not their computers. So you don't want that other experience loaded near you for no reason. and that's the Electronics says, you sound like the HOA in my neighborhood. Listen, it's not about aesthetic per se, but to a certain extent it is. If you made a medieval game, you don't want cyberpunk in the background taking you.
Well, I mean, I don't want a billboard for some of these companies in the background as well.
Right, that's true as well. Right, like if you get in here and you're in your experience, and it right next door, somebody's like, "Come play the Wizzyverse. It's better than that game." That would suck for you as a developer, right?
Right.
Nobody wants that.
And this experience here that we're looking at, Meads did create everything here, I do believe.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, with the exception of the pillar in the center,
in the middle,
because of the blocks themselves are default assets. But all these spinning discs and the character itself as well, absolutely. And it does all look nice together. I think now that I've played it a few times, the first time that I played it, I spent too much time looking down on the tops, and I was feeling dizzy. But I'm not really feeling that as I play it more. But also,
once you start really grooving it,
yeah,
it's so dizzy.
But that direction would nope.
My friend Libra Start on YouTube says, on the Game Maker, the option to hold Shift and move several assets at the same time, is it gone? Seems like
not that I'm aware of. But you'd have to. You do have to select them individually. Chat, can you support me on this? Because quite honestly, I don't usually move a bunch of stuff around at once like that. I tend to. So I guess I'm gonna. Maybe I'd leave another suggestion for this. My working process is a little bit different. So, Soul Cancer says, yeah, it's gone. But Grevox says I never had that issue, so those are a little bit conflicting. But anyway, so I can try punch and jump. So far, I've been awful at that, Ennis, so maybe I'll try it some more here in a second. But my thought process when I go into developing an experience is a couple things. First, I open up any drawing software, whatever it is, right? And I just really roughly put some stuff in places. I put it in, I try to concept art it a little bit and be like, okay, I want this building here. I want it to look like this. And then I compare it with the aesthetics of assets that you can make versus what you kind of want to make, because that's always a little bit different. And then when you see it in the Game Maker, the asset that you make the first time, sometimes you end up going like, yeah, this doesn't work. And you pull out some things or whatever. You try to make things look alive without them being way too busy. And you try to make sure that your designs can be optimized so that they have less polys on them. One example of that being this particular asset that I'm standing on. And you kind of see how it's, in image form, you would call this aliased, but where it's very blocky around the edges all the way around. That's actually pretty poorly optimized. And this asset could have been better made for optimization if it was made to have this this glow bar there. If that was made to just be like a little block, like I don't know, a 6 by how many voxel stalls that? It's about 5, 6. Okay, so if you made it a 6 by 6 voxel flat surface that's 2 voxels deep, and then you slapped a bunch of them on it all the way around, then when it actually renders out, what you would end up getting is fewer faces on this, making it better performance for the end user. So that's kind of the way that I look at that. Is I want to have those concepts out there so that I can think about how I can improve the performance, because I want to make sure that my experience that I build is not just good for, this high-end PC player or the mid-end PC player, but also going to be good for the future mobile player. And I don't have to go rebuild something or say, I'm going to make another one for another experience. But
right.
It
does seem like, Joe, that it was a bug with the new update. So
and that's the thing, as we move from one software to another, or one update to another, you're going to see some things come in and come out. But they could be happening for a variety of reasons. It could have been a prep for that 07 sort of update. Maybe a year ago now, we had a similar thing happen for people that is still going through optimization upgrades, which is basically the ability to copy paste all of the properties that you gave from one asset into another with like parent-child nodes. And that copying isn't a thing at this time. That will be back in the future. So anyway, yeah, so there's, anyway, I way over explained that for sure, but.
Oh, it's fine. Roland's angry about it apparently, but.
Well, Roland is a nice pupper and deserves to play with toys, so.
I mean, yes.
I know that's what he does. That's what he's doing. He's mad about it. He's just like, play with me. I know your doggo.
Oh, yeah. He's quite thoroughly upset that nobody is at the moment, but yes, we are hoping to optimize the sandbox in general, so where some lower-ended PCs can experience everything the same as your 3090s and whatnot.
Yeah, we don't all need we don't all need super high performance graphics cards and CPUs and that sort of thing. So as we continue, like, the users are going to learn that more, or the creators are going to learn that more, and at the same time the sandbox is going to learn more how to make those suggestions and say, because right now we have a template that essentially suggests that if you don't have an i5, I think it's like 7000 series or equivalent, nope, like it's not going to work well. It may work, but not work well. Yeah.
Oh, Wizzy the Bat, your hilarious Batman TV.
There will not be a Wizzy the Bat. There might be.
It'd be pretty hilarious to get a Justice League crossover.
You know what would be great?
Get on me.
Oh man, I almost fell right off that one. Would be if the Wizzy the Black, as was suggested by a few users yesterday, was a vampire.
Oh, okay.
Wonder if that's.
I just want him to be a nice guy.
Vampires are nice, you know what I mean? They don't want to.
I mean, sure, until they marry you just for all that insurance.
To be
Come on, that's how they
what
get
we do in the shadows, ladies and gentlemen, available on some kind of streaming service somewhere. That's what he's talking about.
Hashtag not sponsored. We do got a question from Hot Chips and Source. There are characters that are avatars in the marketplace. They have stats. 10K project avatars have no stats. Any word on how this is going to work?
So the tags can be decided by the creator, but doesn't necessarily mean that properties-wise they are that thing, unfortunately. So there's a bit of work, and we've been undergoing this work for about a year now, because we had some 10,000 assets to update the tags on. And further, there has been an update since we did update those 10,000 assets or so. So you may find little things like that, but understand that essentially the difference between avatars and assets is, you look at the Wizzy asset that was sold yesterday or today, sold, the purple one, right? So that one is an asset that can be used as an avatar in the game if you override the user's default avatar. And so in that sense, an artist may be checking the avatar tag and pushing it out to the marketplace, but in reality it's not an avatar, because the actual avatars replace your asset in the website at sandbox.game, where you can pick it as your main representation when you go from experience to experience that doesn't override that avatar. So that's one of the differences. Another difference is that proper avatars have custom created works around the whole metaverse animations, such as, if you didn't notice, the Snoopverse avatars have different dances that they do that you just can't do when you're playing as anything else. The doggies all have that, like, you know, what song was that? What song was that?
Oh, come
Drop
on,
It Like
you
It's
know
Hot.
this.
The dance
There you
from
go.
Drop It Like It's Hot, right? This dance that he does as the avatar. John Carpenter says no one cares, just play. John Carpenter!
Get out of here, John.
I care about you.
Yeah.
All right? Care about you. I'm all about helping the community, though. So
We got a lot of questions.
The biggest thing about this is definitely to make sure that we address the questions that come in the chat, because while we are between Alpha Season 2 and 3, at this time, users are creating experiences so that we can all be ready for the release of the metaverse, where you can have user-generated content, and those are created with the Sandbox Game Maker. So, anytime somebody asks a question, I'll have to take it as a priority, because I want to make sure that we got high-quality content, high-quality games for you going forward.
Right. Like our friend Ecole V3R over here. I saw this question come in earlier. I didn't get to address it yet because I was still muted. But they won an alpha pass on the 25th, and they couldn't see it because it was in their junk mail. So they're just now getting around to it, and they can't claim the alpha pass today. Or they claimed the alpha pass, but they can't claim the 1,000 sand along with it. Is there any solution for them? I think we're just gonna have to create a. I think we're gonna have to create an actual ticket here and see if there's something to do.
Yeah, let's see here. So unclaimable alpha rewards has a support form. Please make sure the users claim the alpha pass before the 31st. Check if the pass was moved around. 100% completion, but did not receive the M sand, and then banned users. So in terms of, unfortunately, I think the result here is that the sand itself is not going to be claimable, because what happens, and we talked about this a bunch on the show, we talked about it in our Discord, we talked about it on our Twitter, is that there was a whitelist made that said you were someone who won it from a social contest. And only, like, the whitelist itself was based off of an on-blockchain screen, like, why do I want to call it a screenshot?
Oh yeah, it was like a
snapshot
flash in time.
Is the word.
There you go,
yeah.
snapshot.
So the snapshot on the blockchain told us who all the people were that owned an alpha pass the moment that Raffle was going to start. That was the 31st at 4 p.m. UTC. If you didn't have it in your account on the 31st at 4 p.m. UTC, then you would not be approved to claim sand at all, unfortunately. But once again, we tried to address this a whole bunch of times, whether it was on this stream, like over many days, or on the Twitter or the Discord and that kind of thing, unfortunately. But you do still get the collectible item that is the Alpha Season 2 pass, and it has utility in the future. So feel free to hold on to that and enjoy it. Unfortunately, yeah, the sand is a bummer, but you'll have more opportunities. In fact, the thing that I'm playing right now is an opportunity to win 1,000 sand tokens. First, second, and third place players of this experience, Glitchy Speed Run on page 10 right now. First, second, and third place are winning 1,000 sand from a community-created contest. So, if you want to make up for that, go win. You know what I mean? Go get that timer. I think the last time that I checked yesterday, it was at like 1:04. Now the user...
1:04, oh my goodness.
Yeah, right. Mpac917 says, is it worth it to hold the pass? And that is always going to be up to you. Minute 3 from Nemad Max and Batman TV. So minute 3 right now. Ooh. That's crazy, super fast. But what makes a thing worth it is never going to be up to me to tell you. You know, you go back and you look at the Wizzy assets, right? People hold those because essentially they have, you know, community focused value. They have sentimental values. They have collectible values and that sort of thing. We give those away completely free, right? I mean, with the exception of like the sale of the purple ones and the sale of the green ones as we start to build toward the Wizzyverse. most of the assets that have ever existed from Wizzy have been given away for free, and people on secondary want them. So they'll pay hundreds of dollars for them, right? And the question is only, do you want the pass? And then just knowing that, yeah, like in Alpha Season 1 into 2, people who had the Season 1 pass got extra tickets to increase their chances of getting Season 2 pass. But, you know, I personally keep it for the collectability. There was a period during Season 2 that I could have sold it for, you know, like 2 ETH or something like that. But it was like, no, I'm not doing that. It's not worth it to me. I'm going to keep it. So I love IcePilot X7. Put in a little, not financial advice. Do your own research. These are like super standard things to say.
Right.
But you know what? Okay. What's next?
Metalia says, what about the sand rewards for the 50 lucky winners for finishing the race maze? Were they handed out yet?
Yes.
Oh. So it looks like we missed out.
Unfortunately. But, you know, that is the nature of a luck-based giveaway in that particular case. No worries. There will be more contests. There will be more competitions. There will be more game jams and more VoxEdit contests. So they're always around. Always more stuff to hang out.
Right.
So it's funny.
And Hot Chip and Source, when you're looking at these characters like the Wizzies and whatnot, they're not actual avatars per se, but think of them more as like character sets that you can use in your experiences. When we actually get down to the avatars that are like the doggies, as Jazzwolf is helping explain here as well, those will be different, as you'll be able to take those into various metaverses like that.
Right. And that's the thing about the Wizzy 10K project. That's what makes it different, is when you have that want to bring yourself into the metaverse as a Wizzy, then that's what the 10K project is for at its core. Other utility that comes later is utility where, you know, Alex re-rolls it down into a partner deal or you know, something else based on just trying to fold that value back into the community.
Right. Our friend over on YouTube, Skyhand110, says, my custom character animations do not work when I load the game. They show up in the game maker, but default back to idle when I play the game. Am I doing something wrong, or is this a bug?
You're not doing something wrong necessarily if your character is created as like a humanoid character. If it's created off of the template, then it's going to pull the templated defaults. So if you create a brand new thing with all new assets and all new animations, then you can do those custom works. But if you want like a specific walkthrough on how to do those custom animations, what I recommend that you do is come back on Monday at 7 p.m. UTC on this channel. PandaPops hosts live. PandaPops also has their own streams that they do regularly on their own personal channel. But they walk through people how to do custom animations on things all the time. And they can give you a really good high detail explanation of how to do it and just show you so that you can walk through it at the exact same time.
Right. It's actually a good time as well. PandaPops is super entertaining. And sold, I'm going to say sold Mangat. I'm doing my best there for you. Will there be any benefits for landowners? We only got 40 raffle tickets, which is not the same as getting nothing, but I'm with you there. So what do landowners get there, Joe?
I don't really look at land as a proposition of I want to, you know, it's not a 10K project in my mind, I guess. Land is there for you to be a game development or experience development studio. What you get long term when you own land is the ability to publish UGC into the metaverse. It is inherently its own value. So when I look at that, I think about, okay, as a landowner, you can choose to restrict your land access to an NFT. So you create an NFT and you sell that NFT, right? And you say that's going to allow you to unlimited play in my experience, whether that's a game, it's an art gallery, it's a social club, whatever you want, right? That's your utility, the ability to sell that NFT because people want to be in your space. Or, you know, ad hoc sales where you say it costs 1 sand to come in every time you come in. And, you know, that is a utility. But land isn't there to be like necessarily like a community sort of asset. It's not a collectible in that way. It is itself just a high utility, you know, thing for a developer to own. Similar to when you publish a game on your favorite video game marketplace, let's say, or a mobile game, you know, or a mobile app store. If you get space on the Google Play Store, they're going to charge, which we do not, a 25% of all of your revenues cost when you publish your app there, whatever revenues those may be. Whereas in the Sandbox game, you paid for the land outright, and you own all rights to earnings thereafter. Whatever you decide. Whether you even choose to do earnings, you may not. Did a little bit better that time. A little bit better. Not as good as I did yesterday.
Hey, we're shaving down some time. But PG Live PT says, I created a blade from the blades template. And how can I use that blade? I already published it, but in my experience, I don't find the blade in my inventory.
So assets that you send to the marketplace aren't necessarily approved yet. Part of the process still at this time, but this will not be the case in the near future, is that you can have an asset approved so that it can be publicly viewable in the marketplace at sandbox.game. And that does not make it available for sale, but once it's publicly viewable in the marketplace, then you can see it in the game maker. You can see it, other people can see it when you publish your game. So if that is not the case right now, then you may not have access yet, but you will in the near future. I'm just gonna keep following.
Of course. And holding on to those season 1 through season 1 and season 2 passes will probably, I don't want to say for sure, but will probably get you something in upcoming seasons. But as we continue on, there's going to end up being too many of them. So
right, and that's the interesting thing about that. You've got, in terms of like long-term utility of those assets, I would prefer, like as Joe, I would prefer to look at those as collectible pieces, you know, and I was their sort of collection. I try not to look at those as, you know, what are you going to give me for holding this thing? Because once again, it's not a 10K profile picture sort of space. This is an NFT that is a collectible on its own right, that a community member that had been there for a while would appreciate. If I say !Spoin in this chat right now, people are going to know what I'm talking about. And those people who were there, no, you know. And the 10 people who own one of those on all of the internet, know, and they want it. They're not trying to resell it. You know what I mean? It is collectible in its own right. It is a moment in time that we remember, and each of us who own them can say, hey, you know, I was there and it was a good time, and just nostalgize or whatever about it. So that's the way that I prefer to look at those passes long term. And to that point, you noticed that at the end of Alpha Season 2, your account was marked with a Season 2 memorabilia, right? Which is an account level access thing. It's not an NFT. And I think long term, in terms of like making healthy decision making for the, you know, the Raffle tokenomics or whatever, would be to, at a certain point, say there's too many passes to start giving away special benefits for all the passes. Maybe give a benefit for owning one of the passes, whatever one that is. Because then you don't have people who are whales going out and just buying up passes or whatever, getting too many raffle tickets or something like that, and then dominating the earnings of raffles in that future.
Right, and to address the lands questions that some folks are having, the idea in the future is for you to be able to take your land, and if you want to charge people to come into it, by all means, make it an arcade. But it's entirely up to you and how you want to do it. But our
Right.
friend Mansour asks, can I use free assets in the marketplace to build on my land, or do I have to buy and design every single asset?
You can use free assets that are published by TSB Sandbox, I think it's the name of that account, or TSB Account 1, or the Sandbox. Those are always going to be free. And then the assets that are published by other artists that are free, you could use them for now. But if those artists choose in the future to have an asset be charged for, then that is their right as the original creator, the original IP owner. So most teams, what they are doing, whether they are an individual as a team or a bunch of people as a team, they are just creating all of their assets and going from there, with the exception of those two that are from TSB Account 1 and the Sandbox.
Oh, here we go. Oh, you shaved
little
even
better.
more time.
I forgot that I fell a bunch of times.
Still, you did better.
I did. And there we go. Ian Rooney has another point, right? And you know, I didn't really explore this too much because I feel like there's not a ton of people who are buying for this, but maybe there are. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Whale Shark has decided they're just going to do it. But Ian Rooney says you could also in the future rent out your land, and that is true. If you did buy an estate, let's say you got one of the estates that's a 6x6, and you're like, well, what do I do with 36 lands? The development would take me too long. Well, you could rent out as many as you want to other people who could then take their experience and publish it into that land and have it there for the duration of your agreement, whatever that is. So that work, in order for that to be done, it's going to require that we create a malleable smart contract that, you know, you can determine, I want them to have it for 12 weeks or whatever, go, this is the amount of sand if they want to fulfill that contract, and then you put up your rental essentially on the marketplace where they can then come through and accept that. But in terms of getting to that point, that's one of those things that, again, we want to be on Polygon first, because those, you know, high frequency transactions, we want to not have you guys incurring or a bunch of costs to yourselves. A bunch of on ETH gas fees are quite a bit higher, of course, than it is on Polygon. Over on Polygon, it's less than a penny to do a transaction in gas, whereas on ETH, it could be upwards of $30, $40, $50, depending on the time of day that it is. So we'll get there. And then also, it helps us commit to our climate pledge that we made. Using Polygon is a lot more energy efficient as well.
Right, right. And thank you, Bengali, but I have to drink my water at very specific times at the moment. But Joseph, go ahead and hydrate for us.
You want me to hydrate? Heck yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah, get a hydrate. You've been talking quite a lot.
You already know I like the yak.
We did have a pretty good question from Fletcher Cobb here. Fortnite got yeeted off the App Store. I love the word. Yeeted off the App Store for monetizing and an app without using official Apple products and whatnot. How will we avoid that in the future?
That is an interesting discussion, because when we do get to that mobile game being finished, the question is going to be, do we care about an Apple store? Do we care about a Google Play Store, right? So that is, once again, it's not a conversation that I have to have, but here's how that rolls out. We say, we would like to publish on your App Store. Do you approve? And if they say no, then we say, okay, and we upload it onto Sandbox.game, where you can just download it with your phone yourself. You know, that's, I mean, just as long as you turn on the ability to have third-party apps install, just like with Axie Infinity, you can do that right now. I do that for my Axie. I just download it on my mobile and my desktop because I'm kind of a nerd, you know what I mean? Got to have it on these different options. The only downside, of course, being that those marketplaces that are not willing to have it published there. Let's say Steam, for example, maybe they become more open to NFTs and that experience. So then you could download it on your Steam Deck or whatever. Of course, that would imply there's a Linux version, but whatever, you know what I mean? It's always check it through them. And it'll be the exact same conversation when we get to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, whatever, because they are that marketplace that you have to have that conversation with. But I think to the point of at least Xbox, I think they're going to be probably the most open platform to the idea of being like, yeah, you can do that here, sure, because they are kind of a cloud-based. They did buy Activision to try to make a metaverse for, or they're attempting to do so for $69 billion. So, you know, there's definitely a possibility.
And then Fletcher Cobb has another question here.
Okay,
Will there be the ability to have in-app purchases on land? Like 1 sand for a sword? Could the landowner give out sand for doing something? Like 500 sand for the first to beat it?
Okay, the second half, yes. That is a plan in the future. The first half, if it's pay to play, you'd pay up front anyway before you loaded the game. And then the second half, the first person could win 500 sand or whatever, so you could probably recoup that pretty quickly, assuming that the game is hard and 500 people load it. The idea that you do that on a recurring basis is also something that we are exploring, but that would probably be the exact same mechanic on our end. But once again, that comes back to a smart contract. So some of that lends itself back to the Polygon network again. You could see an experience from one of our Animoca brand sister companies out there, Rev Racing. If you've ever played Rev, you know what I'm talking about. You start a race, you have to pay an on-chain fee to do it because you have to have the transaction happen on the blockchain. So we're going to try to do that gasless, but we'll see if we get there. And that's what takes longer. Is our intention is to have a lot of transactions that can wrap and bundle into the same thing without you having to pay this and that and whatever over and over for gas fees. But that, again, it just takes time. People in that same mindset, you know, the question always comes in about, can we do casinos or whatever? And that for various legal reasons, there are some pauses on that, but that same mechanic is necessary for any of those options to be possible. So once that exists, then it's about, can we get the legislative approval from, you know, Japan or whatever, to make sure that they can play and this region can play and that region can play. And you have to start adding age gating and things like that.
Right. And as we get to our giveaway here, Joe,
Yes,
for our hat, currently Death Overlord, yes, the current fastest time reported is 1:03, but Ian Rooney wants to know, will the next land sale be on Polygon? When is that land sale?
The next one probably won't be. A land sale happens about once a month, and until I can confirm that Polygon is done, and until you see, basically this is what, you can answer that question forever by knowing this. If you get an announcement out there on Twitter that says you should convert your land to the Polygon network, and you have to go in and approve a thing on the website, similar to when we upgraded the smart contract there. If you get that coming out, then you know that the next sale after is on Polygon because the smart contract for lands has been converted.
There we go.
All right, so a form is going out over on twitch.tv, youtube.com, and Facebook right now that you can fill out to win a Wizzy-themed NFT for use inside the Sandbox Game Maker or in the Metaverse right now.
Beat me to it.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna try and do your speech.
Oh,
Look at me trying to come back too hard.
He's heard it enough, you know. He knows it.
Right.
He knows it.
Our friend Luke Phillips over on YouTube
wants to know how come the Inside the Sandbox is lacking the views you'd expect from this project. I just don't think it's gotten out there enough, friend. It'll get up there.
Wait, I'm sorry. I
still
missed that. You got kind of quiet there.
Oh, how come the Inside the Sandbox is lacking the views you'd expect from this project?
So
I don't really know why. Yeah.
So Inside the Sandbox isn't us, right? That's not us.
I'm not sure. I'm not
think
sure. I
that's
think
a,
it was.
I'm almost certain that this is just a third party company when I'm thinking about this, that discusses things that are Sandbox. In terms of Sandbox.game, we get pretty respectable views out there on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch. When you look at the VODs of even this show right here, where we just talk shop pretty much the whole time. Big announcements get more views because they get put out on more external outlets. So if I was to come out and say something crazy, and somebody clipped it and shared it on whatever, Polygon.com or if somebody saw something I did and absolutely hated it and shared it on The Verge or whatever, yeah, sure, we get lots of hype. We get lots of views. There'd be a lot of conversation there. But those things, it's always about how many people you throw it out to. For the Slipknot announcement, you can bet there's a lot of hits on that. But for the average everyday stuff, it's always going to be average and everyday.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I saw it on my feed. I definitely need to go check it out myself. So it'll get +1 viewership there. Don't know what to tell you, friend.
Let me double check here. Are we talking about a Twitter thing? Because the only official outlets for the Sandbox game are the Sandbox game. And our respective different outlets around the world. So, I mean, I'm familiar with the idea of the brand Inside the Sandbox. Like, I've seen it around, but when I'm searching Inside the Sandbox, my results, of course, are going to be Sandbox Official, Sandbox Official, Sandbox Official,
right
around it. Monochrome and Yogami and Aloe. Aloe was a community member that had been creating for years here in the Sandbox game. But if I go to people, and at Inside the Sandbox is not an official outlet. It is a weekly talk show on YouTube with a focus on the Sandbox community. So if that's what you're referring to, then their views are their views. It's all about their SEO and stuff like that. Send them my way. I can help kick up their views anytime.
Right. We want more community aspects like that happening, which is pretty cool. I like the idea of a podcast based around that.
Yeah, I like it too.
Sebastian follows a lot of wonderful people.
It is true. So. Currently, they are being followed by 2 of my friends. One Sebastian, one Radeon. So, they've got 60 nice followers right now. I'm going to be number 70. I ruined your meme. How about that?
Oh, ridiculous. How dare you?
All right, so let's see what's good here. We got 257 responses to the forum right now, 327 people in the chat. So I'm gonna let it run just a little bit longer here before I give away this Wizzy themed NFT. Got any more questions out here in the chat? Radcondad?
Oh, friend, I'm just seeing all the love inside the for the Sandbox and all the community inside this chat right now.
All right.
Trying to scroll through and make sure that we get everybody.
Ian Rooney is celebrating the holiday in 40 minutes in their local area, apparently.
Oh, here we go. And Joyce, Anand. I have the worst time pronouncing names. My apologies
Anand,
there,
yeah,
folks.
I see it.
Anand, okay. Over on YouTube. Any landowner can sell his assets directly in the Sandbox Marketplace.
Not yet. Not yet, but soon. Yes. Once again, we want to make sure that before everyone can sell in the marketplace at sandbox.game, that the fees are as low as possible for you. So we have to convert the smart contract so that it is compatible with the Polygon Matic network. Once that's done, then you will all be able to publish and mint shortly thereafter. All right.
Who do we got there, Joe?
So I'm going to shut down the forum. We got 300 responses on that forum. I'm going to do a random number generator 1 through 300. I'm going to hit generate. That's coming up as user number 83. And user 83 who responded to the forum with the answer to the question, what is the name of this game? This is Glitchy Speed Run. And I like the fact that you capitalized it all perfectly. Well done. Over on twitch.tv, user Rian Dana 2030 RIANDANA 2030 is the winner of the Wizzy themed NFT. It is a green lucky hat that you can wear inside any combat-based experience in the Sandbox game. Rian Dana, I see you saying stop it in the chat. I'm not stopping. Congratulations. You won.
Ooh, congrats.
And you know what, Conrad, we've been chill. We've been having a good time. We've just been vibing here today. It hasn't been as crazy. It hasn't been as hype as yesterday's live stream. But you know what? You know what? Tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit more hype. Tomorrow, right?
What year
You're gonna have you know what I mean? What year is it?
You're going to have a lot more energy tomorrow.
It's going crazy.
And you're getting from me today.
No, I mean, tomorrow, chat, we do not have a good morning, afternoon, evening show because it is Between the Alphas. I'm between two ferns right now. And we are going to be hanging out in Alex Florez live stream here at what math? I don't know. 11 a.m. my local time, so that's at 8 p.m. UTC. 8 p.m. UTC scheduled. And we're bringing everybody. If you've heard their voice on a live stream here, with the exception of Deadmau5, they're probably going to be in the stream. So it's going to be a fun day. Hanging out with some fun guys if we can. I don't know if we can get Andy and Touche to participate, but I'm hoping so.
That would be fun.
I'm going to bring them all. All right, everybody's here to just hang out, have fun, enjoy life, play some games together, hopefully compete against each other. And it's a party. It's not as crazy as a party that I'm seeing the chat talk about right now, but it's a good one. It's a good party.
If I could be candid with the chat for a second, part of the reason why I'm sick right now is because of that. I found the dumbest way to OD.
There it is. You found the dumbest way. You got to stay cautious, all right?
Stay cautious, folks.
April 20th is legal in Washington every day of the year, okay? So stay cautious. Right. Don't overuse, you know what I mean? Be easy with it, okay? You just have a good time. Enjoy your life. But let me explain to chat before they give me crazy ideas. What's going on, Radcon?
A cannabis hyperemissary disorder is the thing that we think we got. So
is that what it's called?
Hopefully,
I hope that's it.
I don't have Crohn's disease or anything crazy like that,
you got to Google it. Chat. Got to Google it. Stay safe.
It's the weirdest thing.
Stay safe out there. Stay safe.
Had no idea it could ever happen, but I greened out. That's
I don't know any community. There it is. Ice Pilot's on it. Chat, stay safe. All right. Stay safe.
Stay safe, everybody.
All right.
But it's been a month and a half, but I'm getting better.
It's been a long month and a half, too, man.
That's for sure.
I missed you. You know what I mean? We got to hang out. Anyway, Riandana, best GMAE stream yet because you are a winner. Thank you for hanging out here with us. And we are ready to go. We're coming back. Big party stream tomorrow. We're just vibing. We're just hanging out. But we're going to have some fun in the metaverse. Do some different things, maybe. I'm hoping that at least Panda and I can do a nice split screen event so we can race against each other some more and just vibe with you guys. Have some fun. I want to see you guys in the metaverse. I want to see you guys hanging out, enjoying it. Once again, 8 p.m. UTC is the scheduled time at this time. So get back to it. Have some fun in the metaverse. And make sure, of course, that if you ever want your experiences tested, played, enjoyed here on the Good Morning, Afternoon, Evening show, that you send me a tweet over at TheVisionEX over on Twitter with the name of your game and what page it's on. I can record that and save it in our personal chat room that only the streamers have so that I can remember to play your game here anytime you want. I'll play it today. I'll play it tomorrow. I'll play it the next day. Again and again until we get your content right to your liking. No worries, Meads. It's been a pleasure once again to play. You know what? I didn't get a great time like I got yesterday, but that's okay. That's okay. Because I'm quite sure that I'm not as MLG as the people who are getting 1 minute and 3 seconds setting those records. But Fletcher Cobb, if you put the name of your game in the chat, I'll play it on Thursday.
Yeah,
guarantee
Let's get it recorded right now. Let me see it, Fletcher. And
get it
thank
right
you
now.
so much for all the love, chat. I definitely appreciate that. Hopefully that's what's going on for me.
Meta Nerd
It's getting better.
says,
I definitely
Hackers. No, they just know.
Definitely
They got that micro. They got that macro. PG Live PT says, how many Wizzies did you get, Joe? I don't want to be greedy, PG Live PT. I grabbed one because I still have 10 of the Santa Wizzies from when I created it. So,
really?
You know, yeah. Yeah, that's the one that I've had creative control of. And then, like, I finished it, and then I went, Alex, do you like it? And then he was like, it's perfect except everything. I'm just kidding. And he changed put a little pizzazz on it. Put a little candy cane in the back, things like that. So I got 10 of those. And I don't even want 10 of them. I want to sell 9 of them so I can give the money to children's charity. But so far,
I mean, I like charity, right?
You know, that works better during Christmas. Works better around Christmas time. It's Santa Wizzy.
We'll figure it out.
I bought it this last year because I think I charged too much. I put it up for like 500 sand. I was hoping we can get a couple of whales to help the kids out. You know what I mean? But Idleman. Idleman. The brand of my microphone. Lovely folks over at Beacon Mic, BEACN Mic, sent it over to me ahead of their release. Mic's out now, limited quantity. They sell it pretty fast, but it's a super nice mic. It's USB, so if you like the kind that like goes in like studio hardware, this is meant to be like that. But they took everything that would go in studio hardware and they crammed it in the bottom and then made it USB.
Right.
And you can change the tones and everything. In fact, the very first week that I used this on the stream, people were like, hey, Joe, can you turn down for what? The bass? All right? Because it was getting to them, right? I think it was PG Live specifically who said turn the bass down. And it was like I could look to my right and just grab a thing and go whoop. And it was good. So it makes the tunes for you. The tunes, the tones, whatever. It does the automatic filtering out of the room that you're in if you want it to. It's pretty good. And they're not paying me a dime. You know? Right. It's real nice.
Hashtag, once again, not sponsored.
Definitely not sponsored. And I went from having a mic that went into this hardware to not having it go in this hardware, and it sounds better. So it's pretty wild. But anyway.
Right.
It's been a great time hanging out with you guys. And you know what? I don't think that's the vibe. I don't think that's the vibe right now because the party is tomorrow.
We do need that smooth jazz.
Ice Pilot, you called it.
Thank you so much for joining us today, folks.
We're going to do a raid? Are we streaming right now? Over on twitch.tv. Do you want to do a raid, Conrad, as we're wrapping it up here? We got some people out there. King of Crypto. I haven't raided King of Crypto in a while.
Oh, let's go say hi to him.
I think I'm liking King of Crypto right now. King of Crypto is going to get some love about this Sandbox game right now. It says that they are building assets, creating Voxel assets in the Game Maker, in VoxEdit, Magic of Voxel, and Light Tracer. So we'll see what they're up to over on twitch.tv/king_OFCRYPTO. We're going to raid them here in just a sec. Chat, it's been a pleasure once again. I'll see you over there on the Discord. See you over there on Twitter. Share all the love, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.